Have you heard about the TLC show titled 90 Day Fiancé? I would like to give my reaction to the one that features Rose, a Filipina, and Ed, an American. Now, Ed and Rose went to market in the Philippines, and they bought an item because she figured he didn't know how to pay with pesos, so she was the one who picked the money out of his wallet, and then they paid the vendor, and she said, "Keep the change." The change was only 10 pesos, which is equivalent of 20 cents, 20 US cents. But Ed was very displaced. And he's got this idea that she was after his money. Then they went to an island where there were a lot of monkeys, wild monkeys. And one of the monkeys stole from Ed's backpack a piece of banana. And again, Ed was angry. Ed also claims that Rose's sister wrote to him while he was still in the US asking for money. Now, I don't believe that because TLC and Ed did not give any proof. No proof of that email asking for money, no proof of an amount. There was not even an amount. For someone who can get mad over a piece of banana, wouldn't he be giving the amount she's asking for? The sister is asking for? It just doesn't make sense. In another episode, Rose was so irritated that she called Ed pangit. Pangit is a Tagalog word that translates to ugly. But in Rose's defense, Filipinos use the word ugly or pangit loosely. It could mean you're displeased, you're whatever. You don't like the food, you don't like the place. It could be anything. We use that. It's not always about the person's look. Although I can understand why people from other countries with other language would assume that she was insulting his looks. It's not always the case. Filipina who found a fiancé from a dating site, internet dating site in 2003. My fiancé, Bob, is from the US Midwest. And our relationship has similarities with Ed and Rose relationship. But it also has very striking differences. Now, I'd like to discuss those differences. When Bob arrived in the Philippines, we went to a jewelry store to pick a wedding ring. I chose the cheapest I could find. And Bob was offended. He said, "No, give her one with diamonds." And I don't know, I didn't expect him to be offended. I was raised in a middle class family, but I was raised to be thrifty. I didn't think he could afford to waste money on jewelry. Then, one evening, we took my kids to dinner. I have 3 kids. And, of course, I looked at the menu, but I looked at the prices. And as soon as I saw the prices, I said, okay, I'm going to do the ordering. And all of my children dropped the menu on the table. And Bob again was offended. He said, no, let them order what they want. Later that evening, Bob said I embarrassed him in front of my children. Now, in my defense, before he arrived in the Philippines, he told me that he worked as a welder. He did not go to high school, but he has a GED. And he lives with his mother. Now, in the Philippines, welders are mostly poor because it's an occupation that does not need education. You can learn it by doing. And our educational system is free from elementary to high school. So when he said that he never went to high school, I thought he probably couldn't afford it. Or his family couldn't afford it. And he lived with his mom. In the Philippines, you only live with your parents because you can't afford to pay rent. Knowing that, I did not want Bob to spend money unnecessarily. Bob and I traveled. We went to Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, and Hong Kong at his expense. But I had been to those places with my daughter before I even met Bob. I was working as an administrative manager for a multinational company. And I raised all my kids in homes that I provide. Told me that he had a criminal record, some robbery in his past, in his youth. He was involved in some robbery. And I didn't even flinch. So he must have thought, I am so desperate to get to America that I will marry a criminal. I didn't know how to explain to him that I grew up in a rough city. I had thugs as friends. You know, the thugs that drink on the street, corners, until late at night, and they get arrested sometimes, and they're not really all that hardcore criminals. But because of that record in his past didn't scare me. I wish people won't assume that all Filipinas are poor and they're all marrying for visa and dollar. I like Bob. But to be honest, I was not in love. People marry for other reasons. You don't always have to be in love. But I honestly liked him. I thought he was good looking. And we looked good together. To me, that was enough reason to marry. We were in our 50s. People in your 50s don't fall in love. You can love someone, but not fall in love with all the giddy feelings that you feel when you were 20,